So I'm going to show you what I'm going to have for lunch today. I'm going to show you piece by piece, and I want to see if you can figure it out. Come on, guys, come on up here. See if you guys can figure out what I'm going to have for lunch today, okay? So here's my first clue. A sandwich, you make a sandwich. Okay. You want to try it? Okay, but here's my second clue. Butter. Oh, okay. We're not going to eat the butter. You like to eat butter just by itself? Oh, really you do? Oh, he does? Oh.
You should try it. You should.
I should try it sometime.
You should try it.
Just eating butter? I should try it sometime, you think? Lasagna?
Yeah.
I love lasagna. Do you think I'm making lasagna?
Yes.
You think so? Okay, so I have bread and butter. Oh, Garfield loves lasagna. You're right. Okay. Oh, no peeking. Okay, here's my next clue. Okay, so what am I having? A cheeseburger? Okay.
Wait, I want cheese.
Oh, hold on. You think so? Okay, here's my last clue. A grilled cheese sandwich? You think it's a grilled cheese sandwich? I think you're right. Okay. Why did you, I couldn't put it in the oven in the bag. That'd be a little tricky. Once I showed you all the pieces, it helped you figure out what I was doing, right? Because once I just showed you this, the bread, I mean, there were a lot of options, weren't they? But once I added all the other pieces, it made sense, right? Did it make sense? Yeah. Okay, so, friends. Let me take that, because that's distracting. Okay, thank you. So, I showed you kind of a recipe, right? Have you ever used a recipe to make something? Yeah, you have. There's a lot of parts and pieces, and then once you put all the pieces together, then it makes sense. You've done a recipe, a puzzle. You're right, it's kind of like a puzzle. Once you put all the pieces together, then you see the whole picture. Well, in today's scripture story, Jesus has been resurrected. He came back to life. But the disciples, his students, still are kind of confused. They're confused about why did he come back to life? What's the purpose? What's happening? What's going to happen?
I thought he died on the cross.
He did. And then on Good Friday, he died on the cross. And then on Easter Sunday, we celebrate him coming back to life.
Because of that candle way there.
Oh, you see the candle right in front of the cross, don't you? Yep. So we always talk about the cross. We have that symbol in our church. But then on Easter Sunday, that's when we celebrate Jesus coming back to life. But would you be confused if you were one of Jesus' students about him coming back to life? That would be confusing, wouldn't it? Yes, you're agreeing. It would be confusing. So his disciples needed the recipe. They needed to understand that there was more to the story. And so Jesus helped them with the recipe.
What about that gem on the candle?
That's a question for Pastor Robert. We'll ask him after, because I don't know the answer to that. That's a great question. So let me give you the recipe that Jesus gave his disciples. First, he showed him the scars on his hand. Then he broke bread with them. He ate a meal with them. And then he talked to them about the stories that they'd heard about Jesus and about the miracles he did. Well, they had a meal together.
How did Jesus die?
Oh, wow. Pastor Robert, we are going to need you today. And then he told them first the scars, then they ate a meal together. Then he told them the stories of things that he had done and seen. And then he told them about forgiveness. And then he told them about forgiveness. And then he told them, once you have seen and heard all these things, I want you to tell other people about it. And you know why? Because 2,000 years later, we are still talking and learning about Jesus. Because they told their stories, because they continued. See, Sierra got a new Bible because she was baptized a couple weeks ago. And in that Bible, we hear these stories of Jesus and things that happened 2,000 years ago. We are still telling those stories about how over 2,000 years ago, about how Jesus has invited us to live a different kind of life. A life that's full of joy and peace and love and forgiveness and this beautiful, exciting way to live. And so we are still learning those stories just like the disciples, and we are still sharing those stories with people. We're going to head on upstairs. Lord willing, we are going to get a lesson in. We will see.